Faith is stronger than fear. That's not just a feel-good phrase. It's a way of life for the ones who rise when everything in them says sit down. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need the whole plan, the perfect timing, or the full staircase laid out in front of you. All you need is the courage to take the first step, that trembling, uncertain, shaky step. Because the truth is, faith begins where certainty ends. Fear will give you 100 reasons to stay where you are. It will whisper every worst-case scenario in your ear, paint the picture of your failure before you even begin. But faith says try anyway. Faith doesn't need a guarantee, it just needs a willing heart. The kind of heart that says, even if I fall, at least I fell forward. Faith doesn't consult your comfort. It dares you to move while your knees are shaking. It's not about being fearless. It's about being bold in the face of fear. Some of the greatest victories in life are won by people who had every reason to quit but didn't. Not because they were the strongest, not because they were the smartest, but because they chose belief over panic. They walked toward the unknown with nothing but a maybe in their chest and fire in their gut. That's what faith looks like. It's not pretty or perfect, it's gritty, it's raw. It's stepping into the dark with your hands out, hoping the light meets you on the way down. When fear tells you you're not ready, faith says readiness is overrated. Just begin, just show up, just do the thing afraid, because motion silences fear, progress crushes hesitation. You weren't made to stay stuck in what if. You were made to move in even if I fail. Even if they laugh, even if I fall flat. The point isn't perfection. The point is movement. So don't wait for peace to find you. Create it in your step. Don't wait for a sign in the sky when the fire is already in your spirit. You don't have to leap the whole staircase today. Just one step, one act of courage, one choice to say, I'm not letting fear win this time. And maybe the next step shows up after that, and maybe you learn to trust yourself along the way. But it all begins with belief, that quiet, stubborn, unshakable belief that says, I can do this. Even if the world hasn't said it, even if no one else sees it, even if fear is screaming, faith whispers back, try anyway. And that's how you rise. Your mind is a battlefield. Win it first. Before you lift a finger, before you chase the dream, before you make the move, you have to conquer the noise in your own head. That's where the real war is. Not out there in the world, not in the opinions of others, but in the quiet corners of your thoughts where doubt likes to live. The thoughts that say you're not enough, that you're too late, that the dream is too big and you're too small. But hear this, you can't live a victorious life with a defeated mind. Every breakthrough begins in the mind. Every limit starts there too. What you believe up top shapes everything you touch. If you think you're broken, you'll move like someone who's already lost. If you believe you're powerful, you'll walk like the ground was built to hold you. So the question isn't just what are you going to do? The real question is what are you going to believe? Because belief drives action. Belief fuels movement. Belief wins wars before the first shot is even fired. Some people lose before they begin, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they surrendered mentally. They let fear set the tone. They let comparison write the story. They let insecurity hold the mic. But your mind doesn't have to be your enemy. It can be your greatest weapon, if you train it, if you guard it. If you stop letting every negative thought rent space like it belongs there. You don't need to have it all mapped out. You don't need the final answer. You just need to take that first step with a mind that's made up. A mind that's done playing small, done second, guessing, done waiting for perfect. Because perfect never comes, clarity shows up in motion, confidence shows up in motion, power shows up in motion, and the motion starts the moment you say, I won't let fear sit on the throne anymore. Win it in your thoughts, and everything else will follow. Talk to yourself like someone worth rooting for. Speak strength over your own name. Remind yourself daily that doubt is a liar and fear is a thief, and when the voices rise, the ones that tell you to quit, to shrink, to back down, you stand. You speak back, you move anyway, that's victory. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the next step. But make sure the mind that takes that step is steady. Make sure the mind that leads the body is focused, is fierce, is free. Because if you win it up here, where it all begins, there's nothing out there that can stop you. The world may challenge you, but it won't defeat you. Not if your mind is made of steel and your heart walks in faith. That's how battles are won before they even begin. Dream big, start small, move fast. That's the rhythm of the ones who make it. The ones who don't wait for permission, don't wait for applause, and don't sit around hoping for the perfect moment. They dream like giants, but they build like bricklayers. One block, one action, one move at a time. See, the dream is the spark, but the grind is the fire. Big visions don't scare them. They light them up. But they know if you try to skip the small steps, you miss the whole climb. People get stuck thinking they have to have everything ready, every detail mapped out, every answer in place, every skill perfected. But that's fear in disguise. That's procrastination wearing a suit. The truth is, greatness doesn't arrive in one grand moment. It shows up in small, daily decisions. The unglamorous, uncelebrated, unseen work that nobody claps for. The early mornings, the quiet nights, the things done with no audience. That's where dreams are built, in silence, in sweat, in small beginnings. Start small. But don't stay still. Move with urgency. Move like it matters, because it does. You don't have to know what step 50 looks like. Just master step 1, then step 2, stack the days, stack the effort, and one day you'll look back and realize you climbed a mountain, 1 inch at a time. There's power in momentum, there's power in doing the thing now, not when it's convenient, not when it's easy, not when the stars align, now fast, focused, fired up. Too many people sit on massive dreams because they think the gap between where they are and where they want to be is too wide. But the bridge is built by action, not by wishing, not by waiting. Every legend you admire started with one move, one small, almost invisible decision to begin, to write the first word, to make the first call, to take the first risk. That's what separates dreamers from doers, not talent, not luck. Movement. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step. But once you take it, don't crawl, run. Run toward your purpose like it's oxygen, like you're out of time, because in some ways you are. Life doesn't pause. Opportunities don't knock forever. The world belongs to the bold. To the ones who understand that every big dream is just a collection of small wins done consistently, aggressively, and without excuse. So dream big, make it wild, make it so big it scares you a little. Then start small. Don't despise humble beginnings, embrace them, learn from them, grow in them, but don't get stuck there. Move fast. Take action before the fear settles in, before doubt builds a home. Because the ones who win aren't always the most talented. They're just the ones who moved when others froze. That's the game, that's the mindset. Dream big, start small, move fast. Failure is proof you tried. Proof that you had the guts to stand up, the heart to care, the fire to move when sitting still would have been easier. Most people won't fail, not because they're flawless, but because they never even start. They never take the leap, they never risk the fall. They live safe, quiet lives behind the curtain of comfort, never realizing that failure isn't your enemy, it's your evidence. It's your battle scar that says, I was brave enough to show up. We live in a world obsessed with winning. Everyone wants the highlight reel, the trophy, the applause, but the real ones know the truth. Failure is part of the formula. You don't build strength in comfort, you build it in discomfort. You build it when the plan falls apart, when your effort doesn't match the outcome, when you give it everything and still come up short. That's not weakness. That's work in progress. That's the sign that you're in the game, not just watching from the sidelines. Nobody successful skips failure. Every legend has losses. Every dreamer has detours. And if they tell you different, they're either lying or still pretending. The truth is, failure shapes you. It humbles you. It teaches you what no textbook ever could. It introduces you to resilience. It forces you to choose between quitting or growing, and that choice, that moment when everything hurts and you still say, "I'll go again," that's where greatness is born. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step. But sometimes that first step is right into failure, and that's okay. Because trying and failing still puts you miles ahead of never trying at all. You learned, you built muscle, you found out what doesn't work, and now you're one step closer to what will. People act like falling is the end, but it's not. It's just feedback. It's just redirection. It's just life sharpening you for something bigger. Don't let failure shame you. Let it shape you. Wear it like armor, not a wound. Let it remind you that you were bold enough to care, that you had a dream too loud to ignore, that you didn't let fear hold the pen, and if you failed, good. That means you lived. That means you took the step. That means you have the kind of spirit that doesn't just dream, but dares. So don't run from failure. Run through it. Let it teach you, not define you. Let it fuel your fire, not bury your will. Because the goal isn't to live flawless, it's to live full, and a full life includes some falls. But every time you rise again, you prove something powerful, that your belief is stronger than your setback. And that, right there, is the beginning of something unbreakable. Failure is proof you tried, and trying is how you win. Ignore the applause. Focus on the assignment, because if you live for the claps, you'll die when they go silent. The mission was never about being seen. It was never about the spotlight, the trophies, or the noise. It was about purpose, about doing the thing you were called to do, even when nobody is watching, even when no one says your name, even when it feels like the world is asleep while you're grinding. The truth is, the loudest work happens in silence. The most powerful moves happen when nobody's looking. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step. But when you take that step, make sure it's not for validation. Make sure it's not for likes, retweets, or recognition, because applause fades. One day they love you, the next they forget you. If you tie your worth to the cheers, you'll fall apart when the crowd turns. But if you tie it to the assignment, to the reason, the mission, the calling, you become unshakable. You keep going, not because it feels good, but because it's right. People will try to measure you by their attention span. Don't let them. You were built for more than surface praise. The world may sleep on you, but that doesn't mean your work is in vain. The seeds you're planting now, the sweat, the effort, the discipline are growing even if no one claps for them. Stay locked in, stay grounded, let your results be the noise. There are moments when you'll want the recognition. That's human, but don't let it distract you. Don't let it change the mission. Sometimes the greatest work you'll ever do will never trend, never go viral, never get posted. But it'll impact lives, it'll shift atmospheres, it'll leave legacy. That's the kind of work that matters, the kind that lasts longer than applause ever could. Stay focused, stay humble, stay dangerous. Let them sleep, let them doubt, let them scroll past. Your job isn't to convince anyone. Your job is to complete the assignment. The purpose is still purpose, even if it's quiet, even if it's lonely, even if it's misunderstood. Keep building, keep walking, keep taking step after step. Even if the staircase is covered in shadows, the light will come, the recognition may follow, but don't make that the goal. Make excellence the goal, make impact the goal, because when it's all said and done, what will matter most won't be how loud they cheered, it'll be how deeply you served, how faithfully you showed up, how consistent you stayed, and if you do that, if you pour yourself fully into what you were born to do, the applause won't matter, because your reward will be in knowing you didn't chase noise, you chased purpose. You stayed true. You didn't just dream. You delivered. And that's what separates the ones who flash from the ones who last. Speak life over yourself, because if you wait for the world to do it, you might wait forever. You can't depend on the outside to fuel what needs to be burning on the inside. The way you talk to yourself matters. The words you whisper when nobody's listening. That's what builds you or breaks you. You don't need a crowd, you need conviction. You don't need praise, you need power in your voice when you say your own name, because every day you are either planting seeds of belief or burying yourself in doubt. You've got to be your own encourager, your own motivator, your own spark, not because others don't care, but because they can't always see what you carry. They don't know the weight, they don't know the dream. They don't feel the storm inside your chest that tells you there's more for you than this. So when the doubt creeps in, when the fear whispers, when the world goes silent, speak life. Remind yourself who you are, what you've been through, and what you're still capable of becoming. You don't have to have the full plan. You don't have to know how it's all going to work out. You just have to believe you were made for more. That belief starts with your voice. Not the voice in the mirror trying to pick you apart, but the voice in your soul reminding you, I was built for this. I can rise. I will not break here. Every time you speak life over yourself, you train your mind to align with strength instead of struggle. The world might try to name you by your failures, by your flaws, by your fears, but you have the final say. Your identity isn't built by people's opinions, it's built by your decisions. So decide to speak with power, decide to speak with truth, decide to lift yourself up when everything around you says sink. That's not ego, that's survival, that's necessary, because how can you expect to win in life if your own voice is tearing you down? You don't have to see the whole staircase, just the first step. But make sure the foot that steps out is being pushed by a heart full of belief and a voice full of truth. Say it out loud, I am enough. I am capable. I don't need permission to be powerful. Speak it until it feels real. Speak it until it drowns out the noise. Speak it like your future depends on it, because it does. Your words are weapons or wings. Use them wisely. Use them fiercely. Don't let silence steal your strength. Open your mouth and speak life over your dreams, over your days, over your name. You've waited long enough for someone else to believe in you. It's your turn now. Speak life and take that step.